Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I really welcome my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. We have a lot of fun over on my Twitter, and you'll be kept up to date, not just with DC things, but everything entertainment. So welcome to Monday's edition of the DC Multiverse Daily. Now, the other day I was having a very heated debate privately with a very, very famous entertainment reporter, stroke pundit, stroke movie and TV critic. And she said to me, she goes, listen, Mick, she goes, this multiverse strategy that AT&T and Warner Media are attempting is a mistake because you try and please everyone and you can't please everyone. And I said, listen, you can never please everyone, but the moment you stop trying to please everyone is the moment that you fail. And this multiverse strategy is attempting to do that, and I think it can be successful. I'm a supporter of what Jim Lee and Walter Hamada are doing behind the scenes. They spoke very eloquently about it at DC Fandom Part 1 the other week, and I thought it was very explained in very layman's terms, and I like it. So what is happening here with Batfleck? Apparently he's following HBO Max, but of course he could be doing a Batfleck unrelated project on HBO Max. So, you know, that could mean that. I mean, lots of 2 and 2s are making 6 and things like that. But what do I think? Do I think Ben Affleck will finally do his version of the Batman as a streaming series? Right? Yes. Once November the 19th happened and he tweeted, release the Snyder Cut, that's what was going to happen. Do you think he just hashtagged that for his own health or to support Zack? That's not how Hollywood works. It's you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. He had every opportunity to support the movement for years, and he didn't, right? Gal Gadot, I think, just did it out of loyalty. I don't know. But basically, let's be honest, she already had an established kind of DCEU career because the new regime, the old regime, loved Gal as Wonder Woman because the first movie made a hell of a lot of money, and of course it worked in so many other layers in terms of the inclusion and representation strategy as well. So they love Gal, they love Jason Momoa, they're okay, but Jason was always fighting alongside us to release the Snyder Cut, as was Ray Fisher. But the rest of them weren't doing that. To this date, Henry Cavill still hasn't hashtagged release the Snyder Cut. People saying, will he hashtag I stand with Ray Fisher? No, he won't. Privately, he stands with Ray Fisher. Publicly, the big bods like Affleck, I was nearly said Momoa, but he's hashtagged I'll stand with Ray Fisher. We'll see about that. But in terms of a Ben Affleck straight to streaming the Batman series, I mean, these things have been rumoured since the anniversary of the Justice League release, right? So, and that was a big night, as we know. But on that night, once they saw how popular the Release the Snyder Cut hashtag was, they knew that anything connected with the Snyderverse had to be developed and had to be worked on. And they are desperate to make HBO Max the most successful streaming service in the world of all time. Now, a little thing called Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to premiere on HBO Max. I believe, personally, we are going to be all surprised and it's going to be released some point this year. I know that's controversial. No date announced yet. Interesting. A conversation for another time. But you mark my words, and you have to be illogical to disagree with this statement I'm about to make. But at the end of the day, the Snyder Cut will be the most viewed streaming project, movie, TV show, whatever you want to fucking call it, of all time. Why? Because there's us, the Snyder fans, the DCEU Snyderverse fans, right? Who are going to stream the hell out of it. The haters are going to watch it just so they can hate on it, right? Everyone, every man, woman and child is going to watch this fucking movie, TV series. In fact, they're going to watch it in both elements because people are going to want to know how it sits as a TV series, and critics are definitely going to watch it as a movie and a TV series. Listen, the most streaming event of all time, no question about that. And you think they don't want more of that. People say to me, well, they're going to wait and see how it lands. They know. Well, who was that woman who was part of HBO Max and said already it's been a success for us in terms of subscribers? You know, the media say in subscriptions, HBO Max hasn't been very successful since its launch. Well, there's a reason for that, because it's not available on all the devices. It's not available on Roku. That's another problem they need to sort out. But sort out it will. These are teething problems for a brand new streaming service. They all have these teething problems. Obviously, the Disney brand has got it's a big IP, and it launched big from the beginning. Of course, and Disney were very smart. They went global very quickly. Still not available here in Cyprus, but in pretty much most territories, you can get Disney Plus now. So, you know, they're clever people and mostly know what they're doing. They've made a lot of mistakes, of course, but nobody's perfect. And so, basically, by the time Zack Snyder's Justice League streams on HBO Max, it's going to be available globally in most countries. Probably not here. I'll find another way of watching it. Don't worry about that. But the point is that film TV show is going to be the most watched stream event and talked about event of all time, because the old regime refused to release it, and it took so long for them to announce it. People were sitting there. The Snyder Cut. What's this Snyder Cut? What's this all about? I saw someone with about 200 subscribers on YouTube react to Zack Snyder's Justice League teaser and saying, what is this, a director's cut? Is it just Whedon's movie, but the extended cut? People don't understand. So there's that intrigue there. So they're going to watch it. And even like the normies kind of are watching the teaser that Zack did. He can cut a teaser, can't he, that guy? He can do anything. But people are intrigued. So you're going to find that HBO Max is going to be very, very popular. So once it's the most streamed and watched event of all time, then you will hear officially, they will hit you with it. We are going to do a Batfleck streaming series, a limited series. But who knows? Could be back for more, might not be back for more, because Zack's original plan was to kill Batfleck off. So maybe he'll do one, go back to doing more Justice League, they kill him off, and that's that. That's fair enough, I suppose. But we could get more. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm very confident that we will get this Batfleck series that's being rumoured. Now, I don't have facts for you, right? And there's lots of people who don't believe it's going to happen. But the same people believe that Ryan Reynolds is going to cameo in Zack Snyder's Justice League as Green Lantern. So, you know, you can't start talking fairy tales about one thing, but mocking people for talking fairy tales about other things. And what I would say to you is that the Batfleck thing is happening. It's going to happen on HBO Max. This is what the multiverse strategy is all about, you see. Splitting things up. Having your, theatrical stuff, your straight to streaming stuff. So everyone gets the best of both worlds. I'm extremely excited for J.J. Abrams' Justice League Dark and Zatanna project as well. You know, if you leave J.J. Abrams alone, like Zack, he'll give you something special. And he's a big fan of Justice League Dark, and I've always wanted to see a live-action Justice League Dark, so that's exciting. Straight to HBO Max. You know, Doom Patrol, Season 3, straight to HBO Max. But the thing that's going to light the blue touch paper is Zack Snyder's Justice League in terms of HBO Max. And so, yes, I believe wholeheartedly Batfleck, straight to streaming The Batman, is happening. And I think he wants it to happen. And, him being in the Flash movie is more evidence that it is going to happen. Ooh, Kevin Feige visited the set of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and people are losing their shit. I'm not angry about it, and I don't really care about it. All I would say, if I was Disney, I'd be concerned about this. I've been very suspicious for a year or so now that Kevin Feige could become the president of a newly formed DC Studios. Won't happen yet, but after James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that's when it's going to happen. These two are definitely in cahoots. And it's interesting how things played out with his firing at Disney. Who fired him at Disney? Was it Alan Horn? Was it those people? Did Feige persuade that to happen? Was that part of the plan to get James to come over to DC to start making DC movies, then for Kevin Feige to follow him? You guys and girls are not going to like what I'm saying. I understand. But it could happen. It could happen. And, you know, some very interesting things have been happening. I just was very suspicious from the very beginning how Gunn was sacked. I never believed Disney would sack him. I thought they would come out, give him a telling off and say, look, we discussed this with James. He can't do this again, because that's what was needed. The jokes he made about children were disgusting. There's no question about that. No one can justify that. And I am a big admirer of James Gunn. I think he's a great guy. Not the perfect guy, not the perfect human. Not the perfect moral compass. But what I'm saying to you is that he knows how to make great, exciting movies. And I like his movies. And you do, if you were honest. And he's going to make a great Suicide Squad movie, one I'm really excited to see. But I am very suspicious about this. You know, they wanted to see, maybe they've made the set visit public from Kevin Feige to see what the public's reaction is. Because among Snyder fans, as far as they're concerned, Feige stole a lot of ideas from Snyder via, allegedly, Jeff Johns. I don't know if that's true or not. We've discussed that on this channel many, many times. Who knows what's true? I'm not ruling anything out and anything in. But I am very suspicious of Feige coming to the set of the Suicide Squad. It's not that I'm suspicious that he did it. It's that they made it really public. It's odd. And how they're saying, I told James he could do it, and it's fine. No problem. Make the best film that you can. Look, it's interesting. We're going to see what kind of film it is. If you have other conspiracy theories that James Gunn's here to destroy the DCEU, that's an interesting one as well. But I don't think, reputations are very important in this business, and I don't think that's the case at all. But fans and the public and the consumer have so many conspiracy theories, and that's my one. I think that after Guardians 3, several months after the dust is settled on that, I think definitely there could be a situation where Kevin Feige migrates over to DC. I've been suspicious of it for quite a while, and we will see what happens. Going back to our main talking point of Ben Affleck potentially streaming on HBO Max in The Batman, as I've said already, I believe it's going to happen. I think it's a foregone conclusion, and it's been a foregone conclusion since the big Twitter event last year. Once that trending event happened, everything was up for grabs in the Snyderverse. And it makes me think, a lot to who was really hurt over the whole removal of Snyder from the DCEU. In the first place, the two actors that were hurt were Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. They were the ones targeted. Look at what they did to Henry Cavill's face, to Henry Cavill's Superman in Justice League. They made the man a bad joke, not just the actor, but Superman and the symbol and everything that he stands for, a joke. I mean, Henry Cavill's been fighting for a direct sequel to Man of Steel since 2018. He even brought another director from another project to help him, and he had an idea which was rejected, right? Henry hasn't been battling for money like Randolph's been saying, Grace Randolph. That's absolute bollocks. What he's been fighting for is a direct sequel because he is a man. He loved Man of Steel, and I think he loved Man of Steel more than what he did in Batman versus Superman. And that's clear, and you can hate him for that if you want, but that's his opinion. And he's there in the front lines. He made the films. He's a big Superman fan. He's read a lot of the comics and he feels he knows Superman and he wants to make that direct sequel. And he was hurt that a lot of the things that were integrated by Nolan and Goyer in Man of Steel weren't continued in BVS. That did hurt Henry as well. He wasn't happy about that. But as an actor, you have to carry on and be professional. And he was. And he supported Zack. He was on that video in that Man of Steel watch party. So he's loyal to Zack, but he's a man with his own opinions, and that like any other nerd and geek, and he supported the fans for having a voice as well. He said fans have every right to have an opinion, and it's nothing to do with toxic fandom. So he's a great guy. So he's been fighting for a direct sequel for Man of Steel, not more money for all these years. And Ben Affleck, it was his dream to play Batman. He's got his own Batcave in his own house, right? Underneath his house, apparently. He loves Batman. He's never going to give up on Batman. But when he was on the other film and he was saying, oh, you know, he wasn't passionate about that stuff anymore, that was total bollocks. And it's already been proved that it's total bollocks because he's already going to play Batman in the Flashpoint movie. He's not contracted to do that. He doesn't have to do that, right? Because they've all been in negotiations. They're all going to be in it. The whole Justice League are going to be in the Flashpoint movie. And who knows what other DC characters from the past and the future are going to be in that film. An amazing project. So excited. But the point is, what he said on the Wayback set about not being motivated by that character anymore. Ben Affleck not being motivated by Batman is like mash not being motivated by butter. Or give me some other, anachronism I can use. But do you know what I mean? He was hurt. He was forced off the project, right? And Henry has always been the opposite. He said, listen, the cape's still in my closet. It's still mine. I'm still Superman. And basically, he will be Superman in the Flashpoint movie. Very, very interesting. So the two actors, beyond Zack, but the two actors who have actually been hurt from all the fallout of the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, and what happened with Justice League were Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. They would never do that. They would never do that to a female. In fact, despite the upskirt ridiculousness and Wonder Woman falling on Ezra in Justice League, a lot of the other stuff she did in Justice League was pretty cool, like the arguments with Batfleck, her role in the film. She was more of a leader in the film. So she got a lot of good stuff in that film. But Ben Affleck had that smile when Superman turns up, right? Horrible. You don't know how much that would have hurt Ben. And we know what they did to Henry's face. But of course, they'd never do that to a person of colour or a female. Now, they did delete a lot of Ray Fisher's stuff from Justice League. But that wasn't because he was a person of colour, even though that is the line everyone's using right now. It's because he probably found Ray problematic. And this is what happens when you talk too much in life. And in the end, Ray found himself deleted from most of the movie. I don't think that would have happened if maybe he wasn't as troublesome. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying with the problems they had, that was part of the issues. You know, it's like Joey Tribbiani in Friends when he said he helps write some of the scripts on Days of Our Lives, and then they killed him off in an elevator. This is what happens in the entertainment industry, right? I can only give you that analogy. But the two actors that were hurt mostly were Henry and Ben. And now, definitely, we're going to see lots of Henry as Superman again, starting off in Flashpoint, and Batfleck starting off in Flashpoint. But definitely, I expect both Henry's Superman and Batfleck to get straight to streaming projects via HBO Max. And I think we'll have a new central theatrical Superman as well. With this multiverse strategy, this is exactly what's going to happen. And so I feel they were the ones who were really damaged by it. But now things are turning around because Zack's back. And this is why I keep on saying I can't really be bothered with all the debate about Jeff Johns anymore. People trying to show us that he's some kind of Don Corleone or some gangster, which is simply not true. He behaved badly. It's over. He did destroy the Snyderverse and now it's back. So, get over it. As far as I'm concerned, comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DC Multiverse Daily. See you again soon.